Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Labyrinth. Of course, I am your host, Nigel, and today, like always with these episodes, we're going to do some poetry readings. And what I did is something a little different this time. So normally I write brand new poems to read on here, but I kind of did two things. The first is I went back and got a couple of poems that I wrote that I thought were pretty interesting that I wanted to read out loud for you guys and sort of delve into the meaning and what I was thinking when writing these poems. But the other thing is, I want to read some poems from some other people, of course. Poetry is great to write, but it's also great to read when it comes from other people. Well, and especially when it's very notable people, well, like people that are regarded for being great poets. So, first things first, gonna get right into it. Speaking of great poets, it's first things first. Hello, Uncle Rob. Good to see you. This first poem is going to be "Dreams" by Langston Hughes, probably one of the greatest poets of all time, greatest African American poets of all time. So let's get right into it. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Very deep indeed. And what do I think that poem means? Obviously, it's a little bit self-explanatory. Basically, when you're dreaming, and you're motivated, you're energetic and passionate about the things that you're doing. Things are going well, and you're excited about them. But if you let your dream die out, and it can't take off, it can't soar, like a bird. And if you give up on them completely, it's just emptiness. There's nothing really there. And so that's why I feel like this is such a great poem, such an important, fantastic poem. So this next one is by me, and this one is "Have you ever?" Have you ever seen a beautiful flower, fresh in bloom? Have you ever seen kids running and become suddenly reminiscent of old times? Have you ever seen the complexity in a web and wondered how the spider did it? Have you ever dreamed of the future, unsure of the right answer? Have you ever seen a glorious sunrise or a beautiful sunset? Have you ever been to the beach and seen the waves crash on the shore? Have you ever gotten a cold ice cream and then later a brain freeze? Have you ever seen a baby laugh and noticed the joy in their face? Have you ever seen a homeless person and wondered if the roles were reversed? Life holds so many wonders and mysteries, so don't get stuck on only one of them. Now, when I wrote that poem, the message I was trying to convey is that life has a lot of complexity and a lot of different aspects to it. It's stuff from the past, stuff in the present, and even some stuff in the future, right? And sometimes even stuff that's concurrent, like if you see a homeless person, could you imagine if that was you in that situation? What happened? And so this is sort of things that we think about as people when we go about our daily lives. We think about, what would life be like if roles were reversed? What about this? What about that? And of course, being in nature, your mind goes adrift as you see the beauty and complexity of nature, which is why I absolutely love it so much. This next one is going to be another poem. I gotta pull it back up, and this one is going to be. One second, I seem to have lost it. I just had it. Steve, good to see you, man. Yep, right here. So this one is "The Road Not Taken" by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Both then took the other, and just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, had the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So, pretty interesting poem, all things considered. And, hold on one second. Thanks to Eve. Thanks, man. And so, the thing about this poem is it is a very, very simple poem from surface level, but once you dive into it, that's where the interesting part comes in. So obviously, it's about two paths, as sometimes literal, sometimes figurative. It's the two paths that we take. What if we took this path instead of a different path? How would our life had turned out? And basically what Robert Frost is saying here is that because he chose the path that he did, it's what ultimately defined his life. And I feel like that's the important part when it comes to life, is that sometimes you do things, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you go places, sometimes you won't. That's a bit of a poem right there. But with that being said, that's really the complexity of life, and the fact that he took the road that he did. It, like I said, maybe it's literal, maybe it's figurative. I believe it's more metaphorical, and that's what made all the difference. And I think it's such an important point, and it's one of the reasons why I love this poem so much. This next one is Winter, and this one's written by me. So, the white flurry cloaking the sky, temperatures going down further and further, ice on the streets and in the road, Christmas music blaring through the streets, Salvation Army bells caroling, warm food and warmer spirits as it's wintertime yet again. So, that one, another pretty self-explanatory one. I, of course, live in Buffalo, and Buffalo, infamous, and probably all of New York, but especially Buffalo, infamous for their snow, for the cold. But lo and behold, there's beauty even in the wintertime. Even as it's cold, you get inside, you can snuggle up under your blanket, grab some hot chocolate. You got your Christmas music, Salvation Army. That's usually when they're around, with the bells and everything, as you go into the grocery store. And that's why a part of me likes winter and a part of me doesn't like winter. Because while winter, sometimes it can be kind of difficult. The low temperatures, all the snow, everything is a nightmare to trudge through. You gotta shovel it up to get your car out and everything. And it's still, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful, and that's why I feel like it's a lot of people's favorite season. Fall and winter, I feel like, is people's favorite season. I lean more towards fall. But also, all the holidays are around. You got Christmas, you got New Year's, you got MLK Day, you got Valentine's Day. So, so winter, or you take the good with the bad when it comes to winter, especially in the 716. And finally, this final one is Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. So, this is essentially is a poem about perspective. Of course, here you got two birds. One is locked up in a cage, and the other bird is free. Now, of course, the bird flying around free and everything, he can see the world. He can do pretty much whatever he wants and be happy. But the caged bird, obviously, he can't get out, so he's stuck there. All he can do is sing. His wings are clipped. He's not going anywhere. And so, it's a poem about perspective, and I feel like the birds relate to us. Some of us feel caged within our lives. Some of us feel held back, but others of us are free. We're free to go around and do almost anything we please and do it with joy. So perspective is the key here. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember, this Sunday, which is next week at 12 p.m., that's going to be the official time for System Shock Radio. So, just to be clear, System Shock Radio is going to be every other Sunday at 12 p.m., which is noon. And Nigel Dixie's Tales from the Labyrinth, aka my poetry readings like this one, are going to be every other Sunday at 11 p.m. So they're going to alternate. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.